mad at me, change the anatomy. My rhymes are legal, it's verbal assault and battery. Ain't nobody bad as me, something that you have to see. True to life catastrophe, stiffer than muscle atrophy. Find it kinda sad to me, anyone talking bad to me will never make it after me, silencing all the blasphemy. I'm the name you ain't forgetting. Treat him like Martin that gets the stepping.
Clobber in the foot soldiers, fill the crew to roll out with the 86 Toyota. Through the alley with the bad motor, class rings and shiny things, this is a whole motive. Motif, cheetah print, spandex with Jesus peace. About to get your jewelry early release. Dip into the night like a crooked priest. Each rise to the occasion, fill the paperwork out under we can't save them. We can't save them.
My umbilical cord, broken knuckles as I'm cracking through your chest plate, crown of thorns. Is what the picture I'm wearing when I pierce these lyrics through your brain in the fashionable manner. Feel the beat splatter. I'm like a dictionary when it comes to murder. Y'all be searching for a definition, I'ma take it further. I'll be present for your last breath, no rest. Sleep be the cousin of death.
Push the black sheep, clap those ass cheeks. Saving all these hoes, fuck that, give me a blast beat. Listen to that rap, the maestro of boom back. I'm cutting up the track like an axe, spilling the blood back. I'm getting so rowdy when she sucks my body. Getting a little pulse of beat, I make it sloppy. Hollering at the moon, boys fire in the building. Sergeant Barnes in platoon, ready for killing, yeah. We can't save them.
We can't save them. We can't save them. We can't save them. We can't save them.
Red, red wine, blow out your spine. Killing the streets, murk the beats. The graph lord, Queen's killer. The outrage supreme, #1 blood spiller. Appetites, mutilate, demonic screams. Triple beams, E-train. Yo, we run this shit. Hardcore for life, dirty money spin.
Hey yo, I strike the shepherd just to watch the sheep scatter. Still climbing rungs to the top, I lead the ladder. How you list them off another story, can't complete a chapter. Basket all the glory, but you'll never defeat a master. Try to compete with an elite, be prepared to greet disaster. Bout defeat, die retreat, won't recover like the leader data. In a heat of matter, piss your pants like we'll eat your bladder. Yeah, we talking hands, so fucking chatter, deep the shatter.
We can't save them.
We can't save them. We can't save them. We can't save them. We can't save them.
Welcome to the Diablos Den. I'm your co-host, Jay Reason, and I am here with the one and only Danny Diablo.
It says dance singer on my thing.
That's all right. We both have our government issue names out there enough. Yo, E, so excited to see you, man.
What's up, son?
I could not wait to record and catch up with you, man. You've had a busy couple of weeks since we last recorded. I want to shout out everybody who's been downloading our episodes right before me and
you, Yvonne. You, Yvonne.
Yeah. Well, and even Donnie and the Ruckus podcast, man, for holding it down and keeping everything flowing
Killing
here.
it.
We're so excited. It's cool to see everybody supporting us. Like I said, all this stuff is generated by DannyDiabloMerch.com and Force5Records.com and eTrainRecords.com. So those they bring you sponsored the entire Diablos Den project and all adjacent shows. E, how are you, man? You look good. Change of scenery.
Thank you.
Usually in the studio. Today you're somewhere else.
I'm in my living room, but the studio, we've been killing it downstairs, working on a whole bunch of stuff. You know, the They Live guys. The world don't know, but They Live got me as an official DJ now.
I was gonna say that's in my notes. I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about before we get in with our guest, man. So I guess first, let's shout out Waffle House. Let's start out with the first thing that you just mentioned, dude. You're now DJing for They Live. So shout out. How did that come about? Tell everybody the story for that, because it's pretty.
Well, these guys basically put out a record on Force 5 Records, And I've been living in the house 6 months. I've been out here 6 months, guys. And,
which is wild, man. But good for you for staying out there. It's pretty good.
I haven't been home more than 2.5 weeks in this house. I just come home, boom, tour, come back, tour. So it's great. And whatever you call it, these dudes are fucking talented. King Relik is so fucking talented, prolific, and Jason Logic. They all together are amazing. So they had a show with Devin the Dude.
Okay.
And shout out to Devin and doing his whole posse because those guys it looked cool because it reminded me of like my uncles went on tour with their friends. That's how it looked like. So it was cool meeting them. I walked in there like, oh, who's that guy asking about me? And they're like, Danny Diablo. And they're like, oh shit. They came up to me. I gave them some New York hardcore streetwear. They're all wearing it. It's hilarious.
That's great.
So I was like, I killed it on stage. I never really DJ'd for someone. I DJ all the time, but I never DJ'd for someone. So I knew the songs I was doing. It looked dope. So I said, they're like, yo, you want to DJ for us? I said, of course. Well, I loved it. I want something else. I could tour, make some money, and just chill and push them because they are a fucking talented rap group. So like, and dudes like that out in Milwaukee, they don't get no chances. You know what I mean? So
no, and listen, dude, you've always been. Not because we're close, dude. You've been always so generous with your time and putting people on, and dude, you're always been good about that shit. So no surprise that you're doing that for these guys.
But also like it's even better when people they reciprocate, like in the love of just like everyone knows I don't have money. You know what I mean? Everyone knows child support knows that the government. Everything.
Yo, you're rich in other ways, my brother.
My thing is this: all I do is try to pay my bills, and whatever, like how people have credit debt and their fucking credit cards. I don't have a credit card. I don't have nothing. All I do is pay for food, pay my rent, and pay my child support. And people can say whatever they want to say. All I know is this: that I can get help from everyone to pay all my bills, but you're not like that.
I'm
not
like
your
shit, dude.
Even when my dog was dying and they had the surgery and all that, I waited, and it was like we made all the money. We gave it all back.
I remember,
and it cost me $3,000 for the bill. I didn't ask for people for that bill because that bill was my responsibility. You know what I mean? Like child support's my responsibility. And even though I fucked up not paying it for a while because I was fighting with my ex, and I don't talk to my son at all, contact, and I'm not fighting anything, but that child support is my responsibility, and I will pay whatever it could do until it's paid off. And hopefully that my son will be in my life soon. But God bless him, and God bless my baby mama, my ex-wife, because it must be a hard job being a single mother and being with a teenage kid. That's all I'm saying. I'm not beefing with everyone.
No,
listen. It took me 50 years to get ready and not be a little kid anymore. So I'm here. I'm doing this.
And shout out to you for doing it, man, because it is really real. And shout out to you for being real with your fans about what real life is, man. A lot of people would be out there putting this perception up of, we see how many rappers or even they put up, like stuff that's they don't have, or they rent these houses or rent these places out and they don't even own shit.
I'm happy to be backyard, and I'm happy also if I get in trouble with the law or something, wherever. If I did that shit, if I did something, which I did it. I'm telling you, I did it, and people laugh at me, but I'm saying, if you do the crime, you do the time. If I need a dope lawyer, then I need a fucking dope lawyer, and I would like to help. But right now, it's like I'm not about that life right now. But I'm saying, don't get twisted. If like a lot of these fans, like people like push things, I don't care about fame and things. Like, if you come and you disrespect me, do something horrible, I'm gonna hit you in the head with cinder block.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, listen, dude, everybody knows when the book comes. Like, you know what? Like, I know you're working on it. When the fucking autobiography shit comes out, dude, it's
Oh yeah. And you know what? Everyone who ever stabbed me and everything, like, I deserve everything I got. That's it.
That's it.
I would stab me too. right? Would you?
No, I would never, man. I love you. You know that.
I love you.
Um,
I love you, Jay.
You know I do, man. I do. I would stab somebody for talking negative about you. You know that.
No stabbing.
No stabbing it. No stabbing in Diablos Den. Yo, let's talk about something positive though. You did have you before we dive into like all your music, because I have notes on that. I want to quickly shout out to Concrete Dream on E-Town Records and the E-Town Records team, E-Train, sorry,
and Suburban Noise Records
and Suburban Noise. And shout out to Donnie and the whole team, all you guys killing it, dude. Yo, fucking, they put out their record the other day, and that shit was charting on the fucking iTunes charts. This is their first EP on
Suburban Noise, right?
And this is the one that Billy Bio did with you guys, right?
And he did one song, Amnesia, with me, but it was all a dream. It's named the EP. Cop it right now. It's on Spotify. It's on
streaming everywhere. Yeah, check it out.
The video's gonna drop soon. When this comes out, the video will be out, and I'm on the featured on the song Amnesia.
And shout out to again to you guys, man, for making that happen with them, and shout out to Jeremiah for getting the band back together. And I know you guys, we've talked about it in some of the prior episodes.
Poor Jeremiah learned the hard way, but that's what.
Yo, listen, he came back harder.
And he's ready to go.
Yo, better record. This dude's now he's on a fucking chart and shit. You know, he's ready. You know, he's ready. Sometimes you need that. Not everything can be so easy, dude. You and I both know that.
He learned about music and tour life the hardest way in the world with Scarhead. So
yeah, it does not get any tougher than that at all. Before we dive in again to your music stuff, I wanted to put something in your brain here that's gonna make you go like, holy shit, I can't believe it's been that long. Since November, you and I will have been doing this podcast for 5 years. Can you believe that?
God, look at me. Look at my face says yes.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out to you for doing this consistently with me for 5 years. I've had such a great
5 years.
Yeah, so in November it's gonna be 5 years. So I wanted to put that in your head. So we got to start planning something big for that. But dude, again, you know how much I love doing this with you. And I was looking at our stats and again, all the people who support us and listen and download and fucking, man, do everything. It's crazy, man. Like I said,
Jay, you are the backbone of this fucking thing. That I know you and Loki had a little conversation. Loki was like, I love that Jay Reason is like a lion tamer. He gets to tame you.
And shout out to Loki, man, for really giving me props. And dude, it was funny at that
show. They killed him.
Yeah, they did, man. Spoiler. You know, I don't get to make it out to the city that often, but I did that day, and man, I felt the love. There were so many people who came up and gave us so much positive feedback on the podcast. So again, you know how much I love doing this.
Thank you, brother.
I remember you asking me to do this, and I was in day 1. I'll be here for day 500. Year 500. So yeah, man, we're gonna plan something cool for November, but I wanted to put that in your head so you start thinking about it. So people who have been listening to the Diablos Digest, shout out to everybody. We've been putting out a bunch of episodes. They have heard your new track with Piss Mob. It's you and Piss Mob. Tell us about this. Yep.
So let's shout out to Piss Mob. They're from Jersey City. The song we did, Drago, the video.
Yep.
We filmed that. This is Hardcore in Philly last year.
Yep.
Shout out to out now. Yo, these guys are fucking amazing. A shout out to Big Rando, the Killer Guns, Chris Grau, the Cuban, and fucking Mike, the guitar player, crazy Puerto Rican Ecuadorian. So, these dudes are amazing kids, talented. They just need to be polished up a little bit, but they're ready to go. And if you like Suicide Boys and you like fucking Ghost Main and you like all these other like hard rap, these dudes are like that with the punk rock hardcore edge.
Yeah, it's super cool. I've been using it as the intro. That's not the only new music shit you got coming out. Do you want to drop the Diablos Fest announcement?
Well, you want to drop the fucking Diablo Fest?
Yeah,
2023.
Let's do it. So
Las
those who've been following E online or myself have seen us both post about this. E, break it down. Where's it taking place? Give me all the details. Where am I going?
You're going to the dive bar in Las Vegas.
Yeah. What made you do it in Vegas this year? Awesome. A good place. I hope that they're going to give you a spot to walk at the Punk Rock Museum. They better.
Listen, we just talking about, listen, no disrespect to anyone on the West Coast. All those guys, the dudes from No Effects, Pennywise, all those guys, I love them. Bad Religion. I love those dudes. I love the West Coast. I lived on the West Coast for a while, and I got mad respect for all those bands. I know Nazi Front, the Sick Walls in there. So if they can get those guys in, I'm gonna sneak in there somehow. The back door. I don't want to.
Yo, just put a tag somewhere in the.
Yeah, me and Hoya will be back there. Shout out to Hoya, who was just out there, Punk Rock Bowling. And shout out to Nazi Front and Sick All.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all those guys. Drop us the lineup.
Right now. So the line, listen, guys. So basically, we got the thing. We have this whack ass flyer right now. This is a temporary flyer that Donnie did down to DRP. But I got right now Danny Diablo and guests, all the E-Train guys. So I'm going out on stage with Tony Slippers. With I got Piss Mob out there. I got Big Left from La Coca Nostra. Big Left.
Yeah, sick. Of course. I remember working with him when Joss was working with him. Yep.
I got Count Time. That's what Sam, my brother, Count Time performing. I got Tonewood from Florida. I got They Live. I got 100 Proof, who's on the White Rapper Show, who signed the 4-5. I got the Shark from Morris Park. Yo, remember the Shark? Yo, shout out to the Shark, bro. I love you, brother. When I was a kid, Shark was putting it down back in the K-Slay days. He lives in Vegas. So I said, yo, we gotta do it. He's like, I don't know. Now he's like, I'm doing it. And the DRP's favorite rapper is the Shark. So
that's
did that.
So sick.
Yo,
that's
I
awesome.
can't wait, yo. You got the Bronx up in there.
Oh yeah.
It's December 1st at the Dive Bar. It's a Friday, December 1st. So it starts at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever. And we got a whole bunch of Vegas. Any last words from Vegas is performing, and we got like 4 more acts from Vegas. It's gonna be cool, and we got special guests.
Sick.
Special guests. We got Madball headlining.
Wow.
Yo, you know how?
Madball in Vegas sounds like a good time.
Yo, you know what it took for me to ask Madball to play my festival? And I was like, these niggas are gonna hit me. They're like, talk to Tim Bora. I was like, you motherfuckers.
Damn.
I tried to talk it for Hoya, but Hoya's not doing it like on the side. So I might have to fly out Hoya with my money to play bass with Scarhead.
Wow.
So
wow.
I just might have to do that.
Wow.
Jimmy and Hoya on board. I want to talk to Mike DeJohn tomorrow. And we got Scarhead, the original Scarhead and Madball together on one stage on the West Coast of Vegas. What could go wrong?
Man, I wish that I could be there for that.
So I just talked to all the FSU kids, all the SOSF kids, all the fucking Unity kids. I told all these bikers and everything. I'm like, yo, everyone calm down. Yo, you wear your shit. You be proud of what you are.
Yeah.
But no fighting. Everyone hang out just for 24 hours. Let's have a good time.
Let's just chill. Yeah, no, I love that.
I'm friends with everybody in Vegas. Is a neutral zone, where all that. Everyone come out and have a good time. I promise everyone that, this is gonna be a great show. We got the punk rockers, we got the gang members, we got the bikers, we got the fucking metalheads, we got the
shit is and Vegas is fucking
hookers, the degenerate gamblers. But we got
Vegas is
we got
wild.
the gangsters, all my New York brothers, all my whole neighborhood's coming out for this.
Yeah, this shit's gonna be
Queens up in this shit. We have New York City in this. My thing is this: it's all about having a good time. That weekend, Friday night, boom. We got Saturday night after that. We all hang out in the bar at that, and Sunday we go home. That's
Are you playing shows out, or are you just gonna fly out, or what are you doing? How are you working this?
I don't know yet. Probably drive out.
Probably just drive out. Okay.
Drive out.
That's awesome.
The Force 5 family and hang out there for a few days.
Get set up and get everything.
Saturday, Sunday, hang out. Yep. And and everyone's like, oh my God, is that what are you gonna do? I know you're struggling with your crazy life. Listen, I'm Vegas. I'm doing a whole bunch of cocaine and fucking horse. That's what I'm going to do.
Their line is that stay in Vegas, whatever line. No, I hear you.
So, listen, my life is great. If some people are like, oh my God, he's got listen, I want to do Vegas shit when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
Gang, Beast DMS, what life, baby. We're just going to have a good time. Everyone, it's all about having a good time. Shout out to everyone. Everyone come out there. You're more than welcome. We have vendors. If you're a band, if you're in Vegas, hit up the DRP of Force.com.
Or if you want to sponsor the event, You want to sponsor the event?
If you want to
hit
sponsor
up DRP, because I know
hit the DRP. We're looking for sponsors for the event. I mean, get your shit everywhere. You got to get table, everything.
Yeah.
If you have a company, you want a table and want to sell merch, whatever. We got Gutter Crisis come out there. We got to have all the merch, son.
Yeah, and Gutter Christ brings the crazy designs, dude. He does. I like that Yoda shit. I still wear my shit. Yo, E, talking about a good time. Tell me about Milwaukee Metal Fest. I got to hear about this.
You want to hear? All right, listen. The first thing I want to say, shout out to Jamie Josta.
Shout out to Josta, the king.
He worked hard. Josta was working
hard. The videos, everything looked amazing, dude.
I still got videos got pushed, but Napalm Death, I saw Crowbar. Shout out to Crowbar.
Yeah, let's start in order for the listeners. So you went out, you did you DJ'd the pre-party.
On Thursday.
Was that?
The night before I did Devin the Dew party.
Okay.
Devin and Dew and They Live. Came home, whatever, woke up and went to the pre-party. The day before that, I had steaks, a steakhouse, and I went to a steakhouse with I forget the name of the steakhouse, but I went there in Milwaukee, and me and fucking Joshua ate steaks. It was like $500 worth of steaks and fucking soda. It was amazing. I fucking went nuts.
I love that.
Then it was like, yo, I worked. I had my own fucking merch table. Gunner ran the table for us. We had a great day, a great time. We did a video. We did a They Live and Danny Diablo video before we went to the because we would go there at 5:00 every day. So it was crazy. So we did a video during the day with shout to Real Wolf.
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah, he's been with you a bunch.
Oh yeah, so I'm working with him, and we did. I recorded 2 songs. It was crazy, but Joshua killed it. The pre-party, he did like a super group with everyone, and they killed it. Shout out to Rob from Machine Head, bro.
He's a real one. I never met him, but I've heard. Yeah,
me and him became like, yo, what up, bro? I gave a scribe. Oh,
that's awesome.
Machine Head. I'll tell you the bands that really killed it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Biohazard.
Yeah,
Biohazard killed it. Biohazard and Crowbar were amazing.
Yo, Nostradamus, was he so excited to see you?
He was so excited. We were hanging out tough. It was kind of weird that me and Kirk were hanging out tough, not doing no drugs, not drinking. We just like look at each other.
Cool. Yo, you guys are both cool, so no surprise.
We had the best time. Well, shout out to his wife. Shout out to everyone out there. Kirk, I love you, bro. Me and Kirk, it was cool to hang out, Kirk. Shout out to Matt from fucking Crowbar. I saw Napalm Death. I didn't even get to say hello to Barney, but killed it.
Who was your favorite set of the weekend?
My three. Listen, I'm gonna say my 3. Right, hasn't killed it. It was
I'm saying that was their first. Was that their first US show?
Yeah.
How awesome was that?
Awesome, Danny. The first night, the first night you would think would be the biggest night. The first night wasn't the big night. The biggest night was the last night, Sunday. And but I'll tell you who killed it, like Metallica style. Ooh. Machine Head. I got a whole new.
I believe I saw the videos. Yeah, I saw the videos online.
Fucking Randy from Lamb of God, who I didn't even see. That's my nigga.
Yeah.
Those niggas destroyed it. But Brian, I saw Brian for some.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
I bumped into him and his wife. They look exactly alike. They're literally like they're walking around. I say, you guys look exactly like you guys.
He posted some awesome videos too.
Yeah, all those 3 bands.
Shadows Fall looked like they killed it. Yeah.
Shadows Fall, Lamb of God. I'm telling you right now, they killed it back then in 2006.
And they're still killing it. Well, no, I mean, listen, no surprise. Everybody on Shadows Fall is like the fucking best of the best when it comes to music.
Whatever,
you know what I mean? I mean, like
they just played little shows. They played Kingsland like a year ago. So I'm saying, I'm so happy. Joshua killed it next year. Next year, he says he's going to put Scarhead Madball on it.
Awesome.
I was like, imagine that. Oh, who killed it the most? Terror. Fucking shout
out to Scott Vogel and Chris Link.
Terror, my boys.
And Nick.
They killed
and Martine.
it. Martine.
And Jordan.
Oh, the first one, they looked the best. First, they were all, Martine looked like Genuine, I told him. He was all done up and shit. I said, nigga, you look good, bro. Yo,
and he loves all that. He loves all that metal, the real metal shit.
He was so. I was so happy. They were on this crazy bus that was a fucking it looked like it was for zombie killing. It was crazy. This
that's
bus.
awesome.
Scott Vogel, I love you.
I love Scott. He knows that. He knows how much we support him.
They're going on tour with Hatebreed.
I was gonna say, so yeah, let's plug really quick for the Breed. They just announced their 20-year. Rise of Brutality tour, which is funny because I did the artwork for that for the cover. So shout out to me for doing the cover on that.
Shout out to you, Jay Reason.
Yeah, shout out. Yo, I say it all the time. He owes us to come on the show, and I know you're going to work on that, Josta.
First of all, I was on my best behavior.
Of course you were.
This was just the trial error thing. I was like, yo.
Yeah, he was testing
me. Yo, me and him could stop laughing because he was so busy. He was doing in stores and fucking meet and greets and me and him we're like wherever we were. I love you, Joshua. I love you. You killed it. Can't wait to do it next year. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff I'm gonna be doing with him, and I can't wait. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So that's it.
That's awesome. All right, we have a guest on. I'm gonna get him all set up, and then we'll be right back.
Yo, buy tickets right now for Diablo Fest because they are gonna be gone. It's only 300.
The link will be in the link to get tickets will be in the description. So make sure you get that.
Force5records.com. Right?
.com.
Hit up the DRP and Force5 Records on Instagram. The DRP official DRP to fucking get on, sponsors and all that.
Hell yeah, yeah, definitely. If you guys could sponsor, I know there's a ton of screen printing companies that are always looking to do shit. Like definitely hit up DRP. Yep.
I want to say one thing. I lost my best friend. Al Favors. Deep down, Albert, deep down from Scarhead, my brother. I just want to say I love you deep. I said goodbye to him it's so fucked up. He died of brain cancer. And I'm so happy the last 5 years, me and Deep became friends again. And for the first original singer for the Scarhead, with me and Deep were the two singers on the first Scarhead EP, Drugs My Sex. He sang for Arrogant Response out of Jersey. Deep, you are loved by everyone. The craziest Russian Jew I know. And I had so many crazy fucking times with him I can't even talk about. But damn. Deep, I'll see you on the other side, brother. My brother.
Yo,
Deep down, DMS. Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace, Deep. Let me get our guest on you, and then we'll be right back. Okay. I want to welcome our guest. Joining us today is the author, and he's going to talk about his new book called Failure Rules. The 5 Rules of Failure for Entrepreneurs, Creatives, and Authentics. I want to welcome our friend, Andrew Thorp King.
My man, what's up? Thanks for having me.
Andy, thank you so much.
In the den.
Andy, I know you're doing the rounds for the book, dude. So thank you so much for joining us, man. I had the pleasure of checking it out. You sent me a copy. Thank you so much for that. We are going to have copies at the shop. Oh, so cool. Anybody in the area at Static Era Records, Andy's got you hooked up to be able to come in and buy it. And after this interview, I'm sure that you will want to read it because I did. He was just on a bunch of stuff. We're going to dive in. Isaac, you're there, right? Yeah.
Am I?
Hell
you hear me?
Yes,
you hear
sir.
Me?
All right, cool. I can. We had some technical.
What the hell was that about? What was that about?
It's the den. That's how we roll. We just go.
God,
Andy, thank you so much for joining us, dude. Let's dive into this interview, man. Your book, Failure Rules, really creative book. Let's start off with the concept, man. How did this come together? Because it is pretty interesting, and you've got a lot of cool quotes from people and a lot of just lessons, and it's a very interesting concept. How did this come together?
Yeah, man. So I was taking this beach walk. I had this playlist, and I was listening to all kinds of shit, and like Motorhead, Ace of Spades, Hard Times from the Cro-Mags, never even imagining at the time that John Joseph would end up writing the foreword to the book, 8 years later when I finally finish it comes out. And I was on the precipice of a marital divorce. I'd just gone through a business divorce. I was part of an online lending company. We had operations in Belize. We had operations in the state of Delaware. So I've been kind of like this crazy serial entrepreneur my whole life, right? And so I was like at the precipice of turning 40 and shit. And I was just thinking about like everything I've done, from bodybuilding competitions to writing spy novel to owning a gym to the record label, Thorpe Records, Sailor's Great Records, and like all the crazy shit that happened, detours, failures, obstacles, business partners going to prison, getting investigated by the feds, had to go through a personal bankruptcy at one point, all this crazy shit, right? And thinking about like, why was I not like depressed? Why was I not in despair? Why did I still have this fucking lion heart? Why was I still like ready to keep going and do more, somewhat risky stuff? It was just like, I had this enthusiasm. I was thinking the Winston Churchill quote, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. And I was just thinking about the concept of like hard times and overcoming failure and like PMA and born to lose, live to win. And I just wrote down some rough notes, and then it just, blossomed into this book over time that iterated over the course of like 7 years. And now it's like 489 pages and it's out into the world, flung into the world,
Yeah. And the way that it's laid out is super cool. You made it really easy for people. Like I love the way that it starts off with like, it's got a very big, bold kind of text. And then throughout the book, you kind of reference all these quotes that you really like. And then you put like kind of a lesson at the top of that, which again, for somebody like me, who's a thinker, who just kind of needs to see that direct point before I dive into all this stuff. I appreciate that. How did you, was that something that you had in mind, like the layout of the book when you're gathering it together, or did that come together? Did that come together more after the process?
It revealed itself over time. Like the first draft was just me, just like spilling my guts, just getting shit out, my own point of view. Went back and revised it, layered in a bunch of case studies, from everybody from, Jamie Josta to, to Elon Musk to Rodney Dangerfield, just all kinds of crazy case studies, across the spectrum of like, thought leadership and entertainment and everything that influences me and actually helps me in my life. Right. And then I just thought, well, it'd be best to structure this to have a premise, have a lesson that rolls up to each rule, the 5 rules of failure, and come up with an anchor quote that kind of like reinforces each lesson. And, that way it'd be an easier read, and you can chunk it out, right? Like you can pick up the book, read any chapter standalone and get something out of it,
Yeah, that's what I really liked about it too, man. Like, again, I don't have as much time as I used to read in like a full setting. So I did enjoy, again, like I said, that it's kind of laid out really easy to read. You can pick it up. You can and then you can go back and read stuff that you really liked. Like I found myself going back, thanks to some notes that you had sent over. I was like, oh, that's such a good one. That's such a good one. That's such a good one. And I really, like I said, man, I really enjoyed the whole process about it. Let's talk about the 5 rules for those who have not really dove into the book. Tell us of those 5 rules, and kind of how you came up with that concept.
Yeah. So I wrote the chapters just rough, right? And then I realized they all grouped up to different overarching themes. And so I identified those themes, kind of bundled those chapters under that theme. And each theme really seemed to be like a rule. And it's not like a rule like prescriptive, like you must do this. It's more like keep this concept in mind, right? It's like a mindset rule. Keep this in mind as you travel on difficult, unorthodox paths as a creative, as an entrepreneur, or just living authentically and being yourself and potentially clashing with those around you, right? So failure rule number 1 is failure purifies. It's the idea that the phoenix must burn to emerge, that when we go through hard times or failures, or we confront chaos, like it can be good for us if we choose for it to be good. If we take away our emotions and we objectively stand outside of it, look at it, like we can leverage chaos as an idea engine. I'm sure E's familiar with this. I mean, I don't know the circumstances of you moving to Milwaukee, but I imagine there was some sort of chaos that was the trigger to have you go to Milwaukee and totally uproot your life. Like, so it probably applies somewhat to you, right? You go there, you reinvent, you got all these ideas about, doing new things with E-Train Records and everything else. You've got like this portfolio pursuits, right? A bunch of shit you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what the craziness is, that once you go through something like whatever it is, like right now we're recording the Crown Thorn stuff, right? And I tell you right now, I wouldn't be able to record the Crown Thorn stuff when I was in New York and stuff. If I didn't go through stuff right now, if I went through the fucking the breakup and getting sober and all that shit. So all the fucking shit that just happened in my life, losing my friend and all the crazy fucking shit right now is perfect. Like that. So I've been writing. I needed the chaos, controlled chaos right here to write. Especially, I've been writing Scarhead and rap. I've been writing rap lyrics and Scarhead stuff for whatever. And that stuff is, what it is. It's showboating and fucking make people laugh. The Crown Thorns is like real shit. So I understand that. Like you're writing a book. You're writing a book, and the whole world's gonna be reading that book. So they have to understand that you can't be a fucking dummy. I mean, you got to write something that grasp people's attention. And the world we live right now, these young kids, they don't even know what the fuck. You know what I mean? They're like TikTok. The songs are dumbed down. Everything's just dumbed down. So to our generation, I'm talking about from 30 to fucking 50, you got to capture that audience and the younger. I don't know about the younger writers. They write the way the young kids hold, like the music and stuff. But right now, like I appreciate the way you write. You know what I mean? So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I tried to have some depth. Like the idea was like keep the reader in mind. Like,
do you remember
something to walk away with? It's not about me. It's about who can make it out of it.
There's a point out, and also, Andrew, tell Jay how me and you.
I was gonna ask. That's one of my questions on my list.
Listen. Thorpe records all the time. I always know. I always say, who's that? The guy from Boston or whatever. And I really, the world. I meet people all the time, especially when I used to get fucked up. Meet people all the time. I don't remember, but there's a beef going on in Philly, and turn around, and he's standing there. He's like, I'm so happy. And we had a whole conversation with those people fighting and shit, and we talked for like 20 minutes.
Well, I've seen you around forever, dude. I remember even back in the day, like the first Unitarian church in Philly, seeing shows back then, H2O and shit.
Oh yeah.
I never really knew you. It was just like I knew people who knew you eventually from working in the music industry. I grew up with Joey, like seeing him at shows when he was like 16, and like then worked with Madball and worked with like, I don't know, all kinds of New York bands. Breakdown was the first band I signed. So like it was like I was in that world, but I never actually knew you.
No, we never really sat down.
I know a bunch of shit just went down. I knew all about that.
And we started talking, but I'm saying, I was like, oh shit. And he was gonna tell me all the stuff that he did. And I was like, then I was like, all right, let me fucking check this guy's shit out. And I was like, the nigga was a bodybuilder. The dude was like, I was like, this guy had to go to school. This guy, this guy doing all this shit. Like, in my mind, but you're like, it's like when you meet people at shows, right? Check this out. Back in the day, when you first go to shows, you meet these people and you see this guy for like 7, 8 years of your life going to shows, matinees. Then you don't see him ever again. Then you're like, you find out the guy's the computer tech or whatever. That guy. Oh yeah, he's in Saudi Arabia working with the Black Ops. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't even know that guy's name. You know what I mean? But it's like it's so cool to see that, and also now I can read about all his ventures and when you say entrepreneur and all that stuff, you are like people just know the music business, but you conquered and had to get and bring stuff up with stuff, and that's people need to hear that. Normal people need to hear that. Especially fucked up punk rock kids need to hear that.
Yeah, and that's what I thought was so cool about this book, Andy, was that like the entry point could literally be like E just said, a punk rocker, but this would also appeal to like, someone like E, like our boy Aram, who we had on, who does the coaching shit, in his group. And Andy, I got to connect you with him because, dude, you should get on his
all those guys,
on his podcast on Cadence.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the other cool things in the book, man, was like, I love the definition of terms again. So like, as somebody who isn't from our world can come in, they read this book, you've already laid it out. So like, if you reference PMA or this or that or whatever, it's like, you kind of got it for them. Like again, someone like me who loves to read like that, the book is laid out very perfect for that.
Yeah, I try to make it as digestible as possible. Absolutely.
And you're still fucking. I see that it's as we get older, the music and the scene could be like a little too much. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you're like, why did I do this? Why did I put my why?
I heard you talking about it on No Jumper, man. When you
mean like why?
That was a great interview.
It's like why am I doing this? Does anyone care? Then all of a sudden you turn around and I like talking to you Andrew talking to that day. I was like, and you were talking about but you like following my career, and I was like, I always wondered about you, and it's like. That's why I do it. You know what I mean? It's like appears, and it's like graffiti. Like I don't give a fuck about anyone else, but when the other graffiti writer comes up to easy, like that shit was dope what you did over there. It made me feel like accomplished something in my life. And other people would be like, oh, that's just fucking stupid vandalism. But in my mind, like a stupid punk rock music, it sucks, everything. But no, it's something that comes from the heart. That's and other punk rock. No matter where you are in the world, you can be in fucking Bulgaria, Sophie, Bulgaria, and also you turn around and see someone with a Boston shirt or a fucking Misfit shirt. You're like, oh, I want to talk to this guy. That's it.
That's how I got down to Relapse. I was in the gym one night. I see this guy in a Snapcase shirt. I'm like, the fuck? He was the VP of Relapse and used to be an attorney, and I ended up working at Relapse Records for a few years after making a friendship with him.
That's crazy.
I'm wearing a t-shirt going up to him in the gym,
Yeah.
Like what I'm talking about, is like, you're taking the hardcore ethos, right? And it's larger than the music. It's a spirit. You're like, punk rock is a spirit. It's not even music. Ice Cube said that. When Ice Cube was inducted in the Music Hall of Fame, he came out and he's like, he didn't talk about punk rock, but he's like, look, I know we're not a rock and roll band, but we're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because rock and roll is a spirit. That's punk rock is a spirit, dude. It's an energy. And it can go into all areas of life. Like, I'm an executive fintech banker, right? Like I work with like PayPal's and Chime of the world, help them move money in all these innovative ways. I go up to do these like, presentations in front of a bunch of executives. I'm listening to Madball and Scarhead and Warzone before I go on, just to get like animated, to get my inflection and like enthusiasm, verbal muscularity. And then I just go into it. It's like I picture myself in a hardcore video when I'm giving a presentation in front of executives.
That's amazing that the whole world's like it's also when I bump into people who are into our music, like say our music across the board, punk rock, hardcore metal, whatever, but it comes from punk rock. I always say that they thrive the best in their environment because the world's against them to begin with since day one, since they were kids. You mean? So it's like when I see you like you doing your label, you must be doing everything else the same way. Like the way I do everything. Like when I do the hardcore, I do the rap, everything. I do everything guerrilla style. The videos, you know what I mean? Like it's all guerrilla style. Also, it's when I see kids are younger than me, and I tell them like the artists, I'm like, yo, listen, like I had every chance in the world to blow up and make it big. I did make it big, but I never had money. And don't be me. I took all my friends with me, and all my friends destroyed my shit. But but all those stories and all those fucking things that happened were I made me. I mean, made me. But I would. But then again, that's why I'm living in Milwaukee, paying $500 rent by myself with two other guys. You understand? Yeah. So like right now, I'm a part of that life. I'm gonna be 52 this year, and I'm gonna open up my shop this year here, and this is like what I've done everything. I go on tour. I go on tour, and I see it's still in the seedy ass fucking bars and fucking places, the nightlife. I want to come home and just walk on the grass with my feet. That's all I want to do. You mean? Yeah. It's like I understand you've been through all that shit, and sometimes I'm like, you put out all that music, and people don't understand what it is to run a label. No, and also, Jay does. Jay does. Listen, or do music, and like me. In New York, I was working construction all the time, doing music, and the motherfuckers don't care. You work construction all day, then you go play a fucking show, and they complain about everything. They want to drink your beer. Your friends are already inside drinking your beer. Like I did. What's going on? I don't even drink beer, but you drink my beer. Like, what are you doing? You know, like, we put so much, all energy, all this, and we get some people get mad. We get mad at the West Coast guys because they did the right way, because they like business wise, they all work together. You know what I mean? Like imagine. All right, listen, I'm gonna make you guys laugh right now. Imagine on the East Coast, I was like, yo, Freddie, Roger, all these guys, everyone put $10,000 in. We'll do our own New York hardcore fucking museum and thing. All we need is every band put 10 G's in. Yeah. You know what would happen? First of all, they would be like, where's that money going? They'll be like, my name has to be bigger than his name. I'm not going to go, they'll be fighting over shit. It's like, that's why New York guys' mentalities are more like construction workers and working class. And, and their mentalities on the West Coast, they all come from lawyer background, or they worked in the business. So they know. They all cool with each other. They know. Oh, we need to use this lawyer. We use this guy. Meanwhile, us, like when we try to do something,
you guys got Dave Stein. Everybody uses Dave Stein. Come on,
poor Dave Stein. But say even they like Dave Stein, like it works with everyone. Is a great person, and I'm saying like over there, they have people. Their parents are a big corporation, big fucking. Like,
well, and that stuff you don't find out too till you really start digging. Right? You're like, that's the thing. It'll be like, because sometimes, again, running a label for me, like I'll see something and I'm like,
why is that happening?
Yeah, and then you look and it's like, oh, that's like I never knew the drummer or that like what's that actor Jason from he played in that band, in the band that sings California, and he was in Scott Pilgrim, and he's in all but his mom is Talia Shire, which is crazy.
Listen, on the West Coast, when I was in LA,
everybody who's listening is yelling this actor's name at me right now. I'm so sorry.
but it's this. It's like dudes like us on the East Coast, we love the music and then we try to do what we do and people look at us. So Andrew, if you look at you look like, I'll be like, if I didn't know you, I'll be like, this guy like drives a tugboat. You know, the guy know about music. This guy's probably like, hey, cigar and a tugboat, yeah. You know what you're talking about? So it's like when me at work, when I used to work construction all the time, people used to stop from all over, and people used to be like, oh, what's up? From other countries, and I'd be like, they're like, who the fuck are all the guys I work with? Why they know you? I said, I told you I was big in Bulgaria, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
But I see what you're doing, and it gets hard, man. As you get older, because like you want to deal with these people that don't appreciate shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a warning that you touch people's lives, and they say, "Yo, thank you for putting that out. Thank you for this." But sometimes it takes that one person that's talking shit. Like, why is this guy doing this? Why?
Yo, I read something the other day that I started using. That I used it the other day, and it was so awesome. It said like, whenever someone does shit like that to you, your response is just like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah,
and I did that the other day to somebody, and they kind of like. They're like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, yo, are you okay? That just seems so like weird to say to somebody. They were like dissing something I was doing. And it made them stop. Like, and I remember I just read that and I was like, yo, I'm fucking going to use that. So, you got to use that. Next time somebody says something, you just got to be like, yo, are you okay, dude? Just like that, like.
Well, the people I probably
they're like, no, motherfucker.
Fuck you. I'm not okay. You send me like 4 songs they hate from mine. It's like, why you say this?
Yo, you know what? Stream it anyways. You get paid, motherfucker. Stream that shit all day. You know, we monetize across the board. You know that. Yo, Andy. So I wanted to talk about your labels, which is how I actually got to know you back in the day. Let's talk about Thorpe Records first, was that your first record label?
Yeah, 100%. Started 2000, I think.
Yeah. So you came up, for those who don't know, you worked at Relapse for a while. You worked with Matt. Shout out to Matt and Chord Magazine and Too Damn Hype.
Oh my God, Matt!
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt.
Yo, shout out to Matt.
No, he hit me up the other day. Shout out to Matt. Chord Magazine.
Dude, if somebody talks
Chord Magazine, and then he distributed Thorpe at the beginning. He's the one who told me, like, yo, you want to start a label? Breakdown needs a label, and I went and signed Breakdown.
If anybody still talks to Matt, please send him my best, because he put Voice of Reason on a bunch of cool comps, and he looked out for us. He's just a super fucking cool dude. So yeah, so Andy, so you
before the Youth Today reunion show back in November. He's doing well. It's good.
Good. Awesome, man. So yeah, so Andy, so you started at Relapse, right? You were saying you worked in the mail order and stuff. Like, when you were doing that, did you have a drive to start a label, or were you just kind of like going through the motions and you were like, I'm going to find my next thing, or did you want to be putting out records, doing music?
Dude, I'd already started the label, already released the Breakdown record, and was like unemployed, collecting unemployment, delivering pizzas, had a young baby.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
How the hell I was gonna get going? But like, and I had like this debt from the label, had some revenue, but it was like, shit, I need to like figure out.
All right. So I'm sorry, my timeline is fucked up, man. I to bring me back then to the beginning of this, with starting the label.
Yeah, it was actually like I was just married, got home, and got a pink slip and was laid off, right?
Oh, and it's awful.
Was unemployed, delivering pizzas, like I said, and I was like, fuck it. I was in this empty space. I call it like a failure space. And to me, like, so that's the opportunity to really like find a way to go after what's burning inside. I was like, I always want to start a label. I had this vision, had this passion. So I just said, fuck it. I maxed out my credit cards and signed Breakdown and got hooked up with Matt and got it distributed. And it was like nothing but like problem after problem after problem. And so many fucking problems, and had nothing to do with his affinity for cocaine. It was his problem. And it was just like, oh, fuck, I'm into this tumultuous, mysterious ride here. And there's no getting off this fucking train. Once you're on, like, you got to keep going. You got to keep chasing the dragon. So I really kept going. And luckily, I met the dude from Relapse, started working there, got like this paid education in the music industry while I had an income, and was working with like the Dillinger Escape Plan and Mastodon and their early EPs, records, helping get that out to retail. I was running the whole set of
Yeah, Relapse was definitely having a moment.
Relapse was big at one point, bro.
Well, during that era, man, specifically, like, I mean, not that they're not big now. They still put out some fucking banger records, but yeah, they definitely like they were having a moment for sure.
They're changing too. They were getting rid of like they're still doing the grindcore, the traditional death metal, and all that shit, but they were getting into more like crossover and interesting stuff. And with the Mastodon, with the Dillinger Escape Plan, I forget whatever else they did, but like those two records in particular really took them into kind of a new world,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Relapse.
Shout out to Ben Weinman, who we had. Go back.
That's
to
my
last
boy.
episode.
Yo,
back to
the other day.
Suicidal now or something?
What's that?
Doesn't he play in Suicidal?
He plays in Suicidal. Yeah,
I just saw him play Suicidal. Killed it at fucking Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah,
Sounds like Suicidal.
And he was actually just on Hoya's podcast too. So shout out Smoking Word and Hoya's. I just listened to that. So Andy, so I want to so you signed Breakdown. Where does the label start going from there? So you're saying you're like, because on the surface, again, for me, dude, it looked like you were doing. Oh yeah, man, it looked like you were fucking crushing it. You know, yeah, so you had like
getting good stuff, but it really, dude, it took me like almost 36 records to get anything that really had any traction. It wasn't until I signed Madball and did the Madball EP, and then it was like a cascade, and all of a sudden,
yeah,
signing Sheer Terror, Slapshot, Ramallah, like Drowning Man.
All right.
And, a bunch of other stuff, dude. And
all right, so let me ask this question, because it's been 15, 20 years. I got to know, without naming names. Andy, is it true that the distributor gave you a ton of money and said, like, I want you to get these bands so that these other labels, I'm not going to say who the labels were. Yeah. Is that true? Because that was always what I heard, and I was like, "Fuck, that's kind of like it was a crazy power move on to see."
It wasn't quite like that, dude. I mean, it seemed that way because I had worked for Lumberjack at the time.
Yeah,
they customarily advance money to
right, and people who don't know how that works, you have to fucking pay that back. Though it's not like they just they don't just say like,
you know what I mean?
Right,
like a loan with interest. It was just
right,
cheaper than, other loans I could get, right? So. Yeah, no, they definitely.
How much was the interest?
It wasn't as much interest as I charged when I had a payday loan company. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, man. Because on the surface, on the surface, it definitely seemed like, oh shit, Thorpe signed them. Holy shit, Thorpe signed them. Holy fuck, like it was just like.
But that was, you know what? People talked about it, and it was cool to see, like a small label fucking making moves. You mean
that's what I thought was so awesome about it. Again, that's why I was like dying to ask you that, because on the surface, it was just like, fuck, how is, and again, dude, 15, 20 years later, there's so much more that I know about the industry and how shit works. So I was always
borrowed and just leveraged myself. That's why I got in trouble. And I was going too fast, and like 20 records a year. And I started Sailor's Grave. I signed U.S. Bonds with Dwayne Peters.
Oh man.
Fucking released.
Wait, that was everywhere too. You know what I mean? Like,
I did that one. I did Roger Moret, The Disasters.
Yes.
Mad Sin, Kings of Nothing.
That's 2006.
Boys, yeah, all that shit all at once.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, dude, and you had district, like at that time, Lumberjack had distribution everywhere. So I mean, those records were fucking everywhere.
Yeah, the Thorpe ones were through Lumberjack, but then Sailor's Grave, I got a deal and got a big advance from Koch, so I could keep shit rolling.
Oh, so you worked with Koch. All right, good. All right.
Yeah.
Koch always had a big distribution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Koch became E1.
You look under the hood with all this stuff, though, and all the fees and the returns and the delays and the payment. Like, dude, it is a difficult business,
Well, and especially at that time too, Andy, because that's like, it's like the birth of digital, but people still don't really know what digital is. Stores aren't taking CDs. So it wasn't like, dude, I'm sure we were in the same boat where you could sign a band and ship 2,000, 3,000 CDs. No fucking problem. And there was enough little stores that would take, that's there. Okay, cool. I'll grab that. And now it's like, dude, you're like, fucking, and we ship 1,000 fucking anything, you know what I mean? Just with the amount of stores. You got to do a lot of fucking cool records, man. Like I said, like both between Thorpe and Sailor's Grave. Like doing Thorpe, what's the release that sticks out to you the most that you're proud of? Because I mean, again, dude, you worked with fucking everybody. Like one of my favorites is the Blood for Blood EP that you put out. I listen to that fucking all the time still. I like, to me, that's some of my favorite songs from them. Again, the Madball one was, I felt like as an outsider, was the one that changed the label. Because again, I mean, dude, just shout out to Yvonne, because we really like that Breakdown record you did. But again, dude, that Madball record was the one that really felt like, oh, now everybody knows what this label is, And
that came out like right at Northside Kings was coming out, right when Danny punched out Danzig, right when the record. That brought a whole bunch of attention to the label. Website crashed from all the traffic to see the video of him knocking out Danzig, and it was Blood for Blood, Northside Kings, Madball, all that shit coming out at once. But yeah, I mean, you named it. They're the ones, like the Madball, the Blood for Blood. It's always a huge Sheer Terror fan, so they released a live DVD of them at CBGB's.
That made noise.
Yeah.
That was good.
And just like working with Roger even on Sailor's Grave for the solo record, working with Mickey Fitz on The Business,
I just spoke to Roger right now and Craig. They're where they are. And I tell them I love them. I said, yo, they like Roger, Gallo. I love you guys. Like you guys, like my brothers. I said, Roger, I love you because you taught me how to make it. And like how to be fucking evil in business and on the road. I would be like, fuck that. No, he's like, no, he do it like this. Fuck those motherfuckers. I'm like, damn, vicious businessman.
He's dude. He is disciplined.
He's amazing.
He knows how to be lean and to keep the machine fucking rolling.
He knows what to do. And whenever I toured with those 2 tours, I just loved it. I just turn around, look at him, and he'll just turn and look at me, and he'll say something fucked up. And I'll be like, I was just thinking that.
I write about Roger in the book, man, and quote from his book, From My Riot, about his story growing up and some of the hardships, dude, related to some other stories in there. So he's definitely a key part of the book too, man, for sure.
Good. I can't wait to read the whole book. I just got a whole bunch of books. Dante Ross has a book out that I just ordered. Big Cass has a book that I just got like 2 days ago. So I want to read yours. Like I got all those done. I read Rogers, was amazing. It's just I love.
John Dillis has got a new one he's working on too, on addiction.
Oh, for real? I know. I want to just check them out. And I love reading when I'm on the road. I don't know why. I like reading when I'm on the plane or I'm on a bus or on the road. On the road. When I'm home, wherever I do here, but when I'm on the road, I read. It's crazy.
Andy, I was encouraging Danny at the start of this interview that like he has to do his autobiography. So you have to help me be the other person on his
I'll help, dude.
And help him push this because this dude's got a book in him, and
I'm not doing it. Listen, my thing is like this. Right now, I'm talking to my boys, Real Wolf Productions.
Yeah, they're gonna do the documentary,
and he's working with Don Capria to do a 3-part documentary, like it's Crown Thorn, Scarhead, Danny Diablo.
Nice.
And my thing is this: I told these guys we start next year, but my thing is to get and people laughing, but to open up the shop and to get my son back in my life, and that'll be the whole thing. That
would be sick.
Like a goal, you mean?
Yeah.
Like everything's going to be great, but it's still life. You mean anything can happen, and some people have good days and bad days, and I just like all eyes on me, and I just want. That's why I like doing stuff like this, talking to you, Jay, and talking to you, Andy. Like it's like you talking about all the fucking being the bodybuilding, to fucking the banking, and I'm like, motherfucker, it's like crazy. But you're a smart guy, man, and you're well articulated, and you can talk. You mean like a lot of people would be like the way you speak. Because we're from. A lot of people take that. They get a little intimidated sometimes, right? Normal people get intimidated.
And Andy, you kind of talk a little bit about that, like in the book, and sort of like in some of the podcasts I've heard you talk about, like. Kind of address some of that stuff, man. I think that's a huge part of your story.
What do you mean? What stuff specifically?
Like just like how Isak's saying, like your appearance, but all the things that you've been involved in.
It's when it comes to business, like when Roger could just bat those eyes and be like, talk to me like if you whatever, you're very soft spoken. But like do like Andy, like me, Andy, we're like, hey, what's up? Hey, like, we're animated. People look at me like I'm a fucking. Especially when I used to party all crazy, but people are like, oh, you're doing so much that you're not partying and going crazy. But I say, first of all, guys, when I party, I never missed a show. I worked 10 times hard. I was crazy. I would do 3 videos in one day. It's just like, you think that because of whatever, but it's like I'm always like this,
right?
If I'm fucked up, if I'm fucked up or coked up, I'm hiding in a fucking hotel under a bed, like this.
It's just energy, man. It's just energy. It's spastic, right? When you're creative and you're hustling and you got shit going, you got simultaneity, you got shit going, blowing up all these different places, like. You just come alive, dude. You get you adrenalized. And
that's why the punk rock music. That's why.
Because that's how I work all day, man. I'm just listening to hardcore. That helps me do so many things all at once, but I get fucking animated. Sometimes I got to dial back because people do get a little scared or they're a little intimidated. like you were saying, like, you know, like I'll be on the Zoom call for work, man. I'll have like my button down on, but I'll go off camera. I'm puffing a cigar, and then, you know, as soon as it's done, it's costume change. I'm back in like a wife beater, you know, like, but you know,
I love that. Andy, are you still involved in music at all? Like you still put, I know Sailor's Graves is kind of still active, right?
yeah. So I put like a couple of years ago, I put out a batch of records on Sales Graves, like Goddamn Gallows. I don't know if you know who they are.
Yeah.
Tremendous, dude. Yeah, they're like kind of like this dirty, like they mix like fucking, I don't know, like bluegrass with thrash, you know. It's like
Cool.
they're excellent. And they tour a lot with like Reverend Horton Heat and shit. And Coffin Cats has always been like a mainstay. So still in touch with those guys a lot. They do really, really well. And then Flatfoot 56, the Celtic punk band from Chicago. Still work with them a lot. They actually played my second wedding, you know.
Oh, sick.
Cool. I got married in a bowling alley in South Philly, and Flatfoot 56 is playing there in kilts and shit. It's great. But I paused honestly because I wanted to go into this book stuff. I put all my energy and my cash in the book stuff. So I'm trying to build something like a real like universe around. I call it the failure verse. I could be doing speaking at corporations. I just got the book. It's now required reading in the syllabus for the entrepreneur minor course at Newman University in the fall.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So like, like college kids are gonna be reading Hatebreed lyrics as part of their curriculum.
Yeah,
Well,
which
that's
is
cool. Imagine a kid you don't know about it. All of a sudden you open that book up and you're reading. You're like, what?
But
the
listen,
fuck?
yeah, I've always said it on the show, dude. Hardcore kids rule the world, man. I can't tell you how many places I've been where I'm like, there's not going to be anybody who knows, and somebody be like, "Yo, The Distance, Voice of Reason, Bridge 9, Diablos Den, or this," and I'm just like, like I said, especially when I worked, you know, like at Sony and some of these other places, I'd work at somebody, and they'd be like, "Hey, you were in that band," and I was like, "Yeah," or "You did Stillborn with Josh," you know, or these things, and you just, dude, the hardcore kids fucking run the world.
They remember that. That means a lot. That means a lot to someone.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, that's why you got to
like,
treat everybody. You always got to be cool, man. You always got to be cool.
There's a lot of like vocal, visible people in the scene, but then there's all these people that are quiet. They're just consuming it, but you don't know who they are, but they know who you are, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like it's a strange dynamic. But like, think about it. Like you're right. Like hardcore people rule the world. Like think of just like two examples of Jocko Willink and then Elgin James.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and both of them, both of those guys figured out how to change their life.
Yeah.
And that means like the life was whatever. Like, you know, Jocko did his thing, the military and stuff like that. But I'm saying they changed their life and used that punk rock energy and put it into what they did, and the podcast, into the fucking writing, fucking TV shows. And that's not like.
I mean, Jocko still talks about it. He was interviewed on this big podcast, Modern Wisdom, which is a great podcast. And
yeah,
like, what kind of music you listen to? He's just like Gnostic Front, Cro-Mags, Bad Brains, Black Flag. Like that's the shit he listens to, man. You know what I mean?
You want to hear some crazy? The craziest shit I ever saw on late night TV. I forgot who it was, but Vin Diesel was on it, right? So and this is after so he was hanging out, and Vin Diesel, the guy goes, "Hey, what do you listen to?" And he goes, "When you work out," he goes, he said, I forget what he said. He said like Nirvana or something. And he looked at him and goes, "Nah." He goes, "When I fucking work out, I listen to Bad Brains and fucking Cro-Mags."
That's awesome.
And I was like, right there. I was like, then when I met Vin Diesel, my homeboy from Gibby, my boy from the Mark for the Iceman, the guitar player, he was his assistant.
No shit.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So me, Jamie Johnson, Vin Diesel, and Mark for the homeboy for the guitar player, Iceman, all hanging out together. And I was like, yo, bro. I was like, yo, he grew up Dante Ross. It was so cool to see he's a hardcore kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. He's a hardcore guy, right?
Yeah.
So
just like Dr. Andrew Huberman, the guy who's got the podcast, very scientific, well-spoken, everything else, covers up his tattoos, but like he talks about it. He's listening to Rancid and AF. Like that's what he listens to when he's working out. You know what I mean? Like another hardcore guy that manifests and uses that energy to a totally different discipline, but still retains the integrity and the spirit of the punk rock and the hardcore ethos. You know?
Yeah, I love that.
That's why when you see someone, you meet them, and when you meet them, like you have certain people I meet, and we sit down and talk, and it's hardcore. It's like through the scene and through music, and I like you look at these guys, and when you grow up, like Mike Muir or Whitey for the Exploited, and you look at them, and you're like, oh my God, these guys definitely ruined my life because I wanted to be like them. And then you're sitting with them at a festival, and you're like talking, And I always, me and Mike Muir just saw each other. We talked for fucking 40 minutes. We hugged each other.
Shit.
Like we always see each other. We talk. That's no matter what, where we are in the world. And and the funny thing, so I was saying, and when I see Waddy, when Waddy just had a heart attack, whatever, I said, Waddy, you good? And he goes, thank you, Danny. And I was thinking about the first time me and Waddy met each other, and we were all fucked up, and we grabbed the drug dealer, a punk rocker. And I was like, just here. We gave him like 60 euros, and we took all his speed. And we just all fucked up. Then we were talking, and everyone was watching us. And I was like thinking to myself, no one in that festival could understand one word me and Waddy were saying to each other. His accent, I was fucking Scott, you know what I mean? And my accent, they're probably like, what the fuck are these guys? How do you talk to each other?
It doesn't even take a candle to Mickey Fitz, though, man. I remember talking to Mickey Fitz around
rest in peace.
One time, he called me to talk about doing like some special like Christmas single, which we never did, but Arno Chromag set up the call. We were talking about doing it.
Arno Chromag, rest in peace also.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. Arno. But Mickey was like still drinking then. Between that and the accent, I didn't know what the fuck Mickey said. I'm like, I needed an app to understand what Mickey said. You know? And even when he got sober, it was better, but I still couldn't understand it. My cousin became really good friends with Mickey, who runs a label with my cousin Big Dwayne. He could understand Mickey. Mickey used to stay at his house when they came on tour, and he flew over for the funeral and shit. But I couldn't understand Mickey, man.
Here's something funny.
100% legend, you know.
Hoya.
All right,
Mickey Fitz, I love you, miss you. RP, Arnold Chromag, rest in peace. Hoya said that when me and Sky were talking, me and Waddy were talking, he said we needed the black ball that goes like this on the screen.
Oh my God, that's great. Andy, I want to ask you, so what's next? You had kind of mentioned that you were working on this the failure verse. What's next? Is the next part of that a book, or are we working on some video stuff? Like, so walk me through what's phase 2 looking like.
So I did like 20 like promo videos, like professionally edited and shit. They're all on my YouTube channel. Just use them kind of evergreen to promote this shit. But I'm just working on like live event stuff. So I'm going to the Premium Cigar Association trade show in Vegas for 7 days, selling my merch. Soul on Fire Supply Company is like the clothing company I started, which is like echoes the themes of the book. Soul on Fire, it's a chapter in the book. This is a mock Chromag shirt. World peace can't be done. And it says cigars may help. So shit like that, and just cool designs, and then selling the book. And then I'm gonna be doing probably like a lot of events at cigar lounges, because I'm really kind of heavy into cigar culture. Because they're in.
Dude, let me know if you need a hand setting up something in Connecticut. I have a couple.
Diablo Fest, maybe Diablo Fest.
Yeah, you should do a Diablo Fest out there too. Yeah,
Vegas, come out.
I'm doing This Is Hardcore Fest. I'm gonna have a booth there and shit.
Come out to Diablo Fest. We'll get you a booth.
Yeah, I'll do it. That's it. Vegas too, right?
Yeah, Vegas, bro.
Yeah, we were just talking about that at the top of the show. So Andy, before I let you go, walk through where can everybody get the book? Walk me through the YouTube channel. Give us all the stuff, man. Because again, I really want, if anything, I want our readers to really take the time and go and look at this book. Like I said, I got a chance I first heard Andy talk about it on a couple other podcasts, and I had said to Andy before he joined, I felt like I almost manifested him sending me a copy, because I was just about to buy it on Amazon, straight up, swear to God.
I just threw it in my own sale. Look at that. What am I doing?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, right? But if you're a Kindle person, I think you can get it for free. So that's what I was going to do.
The audiobook's kick ass, dude. Jay is saying he was an actor in Twin Peaks on Showtime. He did the audiobook. He also
sick.
did a G Come Blues video for Social Distortion. He did a great job on the audiobook. I sell just as much of those as the physical copies, but you can get anywhere books are online, man, anywhere. And website is andrewthorpking.com. No E on the end of Thorpe. And YouTube channels at Andrew Thorp King. Instagram, we're most active, same thing, at Andrew Thorp King. And like, you go to the website, you can get a free Failure Rules mini course with like, content with the book. I have a soundtrack playlist on Spotify and Apple Music, a companion to the book, with everything from like Billy Bio and Black Flag. And
again, I really want to stress, Andy, to our listeners, how easy and digestible this book is. Please, like I said, man, do not, I know a lot of our listeners probably just ain't into fucking reading and all that shit, but dude, take a chance, dive into the audiobook, because there were so many things that Andy talked about that I was like I said, I was like, oh, fuck, my brain thinks like that. There were so many things that I was in that mindset that I didn't even know that I was in that mindset. And maybe that can help you in some of the decisions you're making. And again, right now, I feel like the time is it's very open for people to make changes in your career and personal life. The whole world has shifted, so there's a lot more opportunities, a lot of advantages, and I think a book like this really came at a good time. So like, again, Andy, as a I appreciate you sending a copy to me. We're going to have copies at Static Era. So anyone who listens, definitely come in. I'm going to tell you what, Andy sent me a copy. I'm going to put that copy out so that we could flip through it at the shop so that like we don't damage the other ones, like a reader copy. That's how important I think it is. And I'm actually going to do it even better. I'm going to give away a copy from the pile that Andy's given me on our Instagram through Ezek's Instagram. So we're going to do a little contest there, which will be sick. We'll work out something cool to give out a copy, because again, I do think that it's such a good read, and especially for people in our genre that listen to hardcore punk rock, do not be intimidated by this, because there are so many things I think that Andy mentions in this that you could take from, again, whether you're working in construction mindset, you're a creative person, it's really open, Andy, and I really appreciate you writing something like that. Because again, I think sometimes when you look at these kind of, I don't want to say self-help, because it's definitely not that, but those books kind of come off a fucking weird way, where I've read a couple of those and I'm like, what is this shit? Yours comes off like,
well,
we know
who he is. I mean, a lot of those people, you don't know who they are, and they're very pompous when they say something. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, say like I know a whole bunch of dudes that I went on Warped Tour, and the guy, he's a guru. I'm like, that guy just wants to get pussy. I mean, that's what he wants to do.
Yo, that's not a bad strategy, though. Look, I'm just saying. I don't know.
But yes,
that's the thing. I wrote the book. I'm just trying to be authentic. Like, I ain't saying I have all the answers, but I think I learned some shit. I think I learned some shit from others. I put it together, synthesize it, and look, it's all around the idea that, like, yo, I'm a failure to fuck up just like you, but you can do something with that. Here's some stories to tell you how to do that.
Get up and face the day. Tomorrow's another day. Just try make it more. That's what people say all the time. Like, oh my God, this and that. You can't get away from the environment you are. I'm like, say no, the environment made me, the environment made me who I am. I survived shit.
Well, that's what gave the lyric. Yeah, I mean, that's what's given us the songs that we enjoy from you.
What my songs?
Yeah. I'm saying where you come from, like the environment, what you've written and shit. You know what I'm saying is what makes people into your music is how you came up. Not everyone could write that fucking Crown of Thorns EP.
Anyone that listens to our music is fucked up in the head.
Oh, well, we know that.
That's why if Andy made it in his book and made it 100%, or like Viggo Mortensen is a great actor, because all punk rock, it all comes from punk rock, bro.
All punk rock.
When you see an actor,
it's a special brand of insanity, dude. It's
Peter Green, it's all punk rock, no matter what. Dante Ross, best producer, punk rock. You mean it's like Mike Ness, punk rock. It's like you look at people. And like, oh my God, that guy used to play drums for that guy. And like, oh, I didn't know that, but it's always from punk rock.
Yep. Right. Hell yeah. So once again, Andy, thank you so much for joining us tonight, dude, and sharing your book and sharing your stories, especially with someone like myself who was a fan of who's a fan of the label and had been just dying for some stuff. I'm gonna have to text you to punish you some more about some questions we didn't get.
Dude, anything you want, we can probably go on for hours, but this was good, man. We had a lot of stuff.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks,
thank you both again, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, for subscribing. Check out the YouTube, check out the email list. Thank you again for Donnie for holding it down with Ruckus Podcast. Dan Diablo,
Ruckus Podcast
tomorrow night, so you'll get that. Diablos Digest, Diablos Den. Check out Andy's book. I love all you guys. Thank you so much. Peace.
Peace.